It is written here, if you obey and serve God, you will prosper. You will prosper. You will prosper. So poverty is a sign of ungodliness.
The goal of God in your life is not your riches or your poverty. Again and again, I will say it. The goal of God in your life is conformity to the image of Jesus. Those whom he did foreknow, them he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son.
Be poor means there is sin in your life. Unfortunately, people think it is those that are rich that have sin in their life. Never trust the holiness of a poor man. The equation is complete. You are a kingdom addict. Everybody hear me. People don't know scriptures. For 30 pieces of silver, Judas sold Jesus. So, money problem led Christ to the cross. Poverty in the life of one of his disciples is the reason why they nailed him. They crucified him and left him there on the cross. And he can resurrect there. Then a billionaire, Joseph of Arimathea, a billionaire that can talk the language of the king. He walked into Pilate's palace and demanded for the body of Christ. There are scriptural prophecies, only rich people can fulfill it. There are scriptural prophecies, only rich people can fulfill it. Shout with me, I'm one of them.
You listen to this trash, this satanic, barbaric message of this pastor Korede Komaya. This is not a message to edify a believer, rather to mislead believer, to discourage believer, to make believer feel disappointed, to make believers feel that he's not doing the right thing, to make believers feel that the reason why they are poor is because they are unrighteous, that sin is found on them. The reason why they are sick, that sin is found on them. These are the people, similar people that appear before Job, telling Job, the reason why you are facing this calamity is because you committed one sin secretly. They believe prosperity is a sign of righteousness. Prosperity is not a sign of righteousness before God. If you are prosperous and you are righteous, good and fine. But that is not enough to qualify a man's righteousness before God. When you are poor, that does not mean that your righteousness is unrighteous. Sin is found in you, that is why you are poor. That is a pure lie from the pit of hell. You are poor not because you are unrighteous. Not because sin is found in you. There are many people today who are blessed, who you know quite all right that these people, they don't know God. And they are more richer, blessed than you that knows God. Are you telling those people that those people are more righteous than them? And over 40-something minutes of this message, over 1 week with some days, some people that I expect to rebuke this message never did that. Only some few men of God who some cabal sat down and say these ones, they are not men of God. Especially Dr. Damina. They wrote concerning him. They called themselves Supreme Council of Christian Body. Wrote against him that he should appear before their court. They could listen to this barbaric, satanic message of this pastor called himself Korede, preaching total rubbish, mocking the redemption, mocking the sacrifice that Christ paid on the cross. Telling the millions of people that Christ died because he was poor. There are certain prophecy poor men cannot fulfill. That is why Matthias had to appear. Who said that? Without Matthias, Christ will be buried, because prophecy has been said concerning him. This is what he was born to do. I don't know what you feel concerning this message, but I would like to hear your own opinion. Did you agree with such kind of message that the reason why some people are poor in the body of Christ is because sin is found in them? I want to hear your own opinion. Do you agree that if Matthias did not appear, that Christ will be left on the cross? The tradition of the Jews, when a man committed a crime, is to crucify him, and they don't allow the sun to go down without burying that person. They must do some rituals again to cleanse the whole city, the whole country. So without Matthias, they will still bury Christ. Prophecy have been released. In fact, the early days of Jesus prophesied that I'm going to be betrayed, I'm going to be swallowed by the earth, for 3 days I will resurrect. He prophesied it. Jesus did not die because he was poor. He died because he came to save man from eternal condemnation. But in this, before I go, I will leave you to the response of Pastor Evangelist Kesiana and also Apostle Gideon, then followed by Dr. Damina. God bless you. See you next time on my next message. Please help us to share this message to as many that you can, and God will bless you, so that they will know this kind of message. They should not accept it in their heart. God, the reason why they are suffering is not because that sin is found in them. Apostle Paul said in the book of Romans chapter 8, he said, what shall separate us from the love of Christ? Is it death? Is it hunger? Is it affliction? Is it disease? Is it food? What is it that can separate you? It means a believer, you can still be righteous and fall sick. You can still be righteous and be looking for food to eat, no food. You can still be righteous and no clothes for you to wear. You can still be righteous and poverty is ravaging your life. Everybody has his own trial in life. There are some people, no matter the millions you will give them, they will still remain poor. Because why? Maybe God have seen them. If they are rich beyond this, he will lose them. So it is better for them to remain poor, for them to make heaven than to lose heaven. So poverty is not at the result of your sin that caused it. Every man has how God designed him to fulfill his destiny. And God bless you.
That is why a preacher can stand in the pulpit and tell people that you cannot trust the holiness of a poor man. He doesn't know God. And I'm not mincing what he doesn't know God, because if he has heard God, he knows that that very statement that he made is anti the Bible.
Poverty is a sign of ungodliness. To be poor means there is sin in your life. Never trust the holiness of a poor man. Listen, you can't carry girlfriend. The resources are not there.
What God is doing in time in your life is the development. Are you there? Is the formation of the life of his son Jesus in your life. Everything else is a tool to the realization of that chief objective. When the Bible talks about, true prosperity, and the Bible talks about, I'm the Lord your God that gives you power to make wealth, that I might establish the covenant that I made with your fathers. Yes. So somebody will now say, so are you now saying that God does not want us to be rich? It's blackmail. When they start talking like that, they are trying to blackmail you. So are you saying that a Christian should be poor because he's a Christian? No. We're not saying a Christian should be poor because he's a Christian. But we are saying that a Christian can be poor because he's a Christian. Yes. A Christian can be poor because he is a Christian. Becoming a Christian can mean a call to becoming poor. And you can quote me anywhere. You think that what God is trying to do in your life when you became a Christian is the 80 years or 90 years that you intend to live? Do you think that is it? That's not it. That's not it. The goal of God in your life is not your riches or your poverty. Again and again, I will say it. The goal of God in your life is conformity to the image of Jesus. Those whom he did foreknow, them he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he, the son, might become the firstborn among many brethren. You know your calling, brethren. How that not many of you were rich, isn't it? God's goal in your life, it's not particularly your riches or your poverty. That's not what God is doing in time in your life. What God is doing in time in your life is the development. Are you there? Is the formation of the life of his son Jesus in your life. Everything else is a tool to the realization of that chief objective.
Somebody sent me a video where a preacher in this country said that if Jesus was rich, he wouldn't have died. That Jesus died because he was poor. That is an insult to the work of redemption. That is a total assault on the gospel. And those useless Supreme Council of hypocrites will not call such a person out because they are members of that cabal where money is their God. When people like us preach Christ, they attack us because they are far from Christ, whose God is their stomach. How can somebody say that Jesus died because he didn't have money, that they used 30 pieces of silver to kill him, that if he was rich, it wouldn't have succeeded? He is even worse than Peter, who said, Jesus, you will not die. And Jesus said, get thee behind me, Satan, because you are an offense to the things of God. You savour not the things that be of God. So Jesus came to the earth not to die or what? And that is a message in an entire convention, global convention, that if Jesus had money, that when Joseph of Arimathea showed up, who was a billionaire, he told Herod, I know that guy is my guy. Herod said, oh, we didn't know you know him, we wouldn't have killed him. Anyway, we are sorry for killing him, you can have his body. That it took a millionaire to just collect the body and bury it. These people, I don't know whether they even read Bible or they just read village parables or village tales by moonlight. Jesus came to the earth to die. Ought not cry, oh fool, oh zoomy, oh fools, slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Ought not Christ to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory?